It's a new year and a new decade, the Roaring 20s, a decade that's going to define the future of NASCAR and all of motorsports. In this video, and this is all for fun, good chance I will get a lot of this wrong too, but hey, that's okay. I'm going to predict what retirements and champions we will see in the coming decade out of the NASCAR Cup Series from the year 2020 to the year 2029. Let's roll. We know for certain that we will see the retirement of 7-time champion Jimmie Johnson at the end of the 2020 season. As a bonus, I will also do my best to predict who I think will end up replacing the retired driver. One guy I see replacing Jimmie Johnson is Noah Gragson, who could take over the 48 in 2021. However, I also believe he's going to have a breakout season in Xfinity this coming season if he wants the 48 ride. I also predict Clint Bowyer will hang up his helmet from full-time racing after 2020, and he will be replaced by Chase Briscoe in the number 14. As for the 2020 champion, I honestly see another dominant season from Joe Gibbs Racing with the current car and package that we ran from 2019. With that being said, I do predict that Denny Hamlin will make another run in 2020 and take home that elusive championship that he has been chasing his whole career. Denny Hamlin will win the 2020 Cup Championship. 2021 will usher a new era for NASCAR. The new next-gen car, new schedules with possible new tracks on the schedule as well, new sponsor system, and new faces. I believe that Ryan Newman will retire at the end of 2021. As for who replaces him, this could be a mystery. Roush no longer runs an Xfinity program, and they have Chris Buescher in the 17, who I believe will bring the team back into the spotlight. With Newman retiring, there are a few names you could toss in. Maybe Daytona Cup winner Justin Haley, or even Daniel Suarez, depending on what happens on his 2020 plans. I also predict that Kurt Busch will retire at the end of 2021. He might even run another season if so, since he has signed on a 2-year extension to stay with Chip Ganassi. In case he does retire though, and I'm sure a lot of people want to see it, Ross Chastain will take over the 1 car, depending on sponsorship. So who will win the 2021 championship? Obviously, this is hard to predict. I could be dead wrong, but I think the 2021 season will be a season to remember. I believe it'll be Kyle Busch taking home his 3rd championship to open up this new era. Who will retire in 2022? You could see someone like Michael McDowell step down from full-time racing as well during this time, depending on the next gen and schedule changes. I predict Denny Hamlin will retire at the end of 2022. He will be 42 years old, and that is about the average age for a driver to retire in this current time. As for his replacement, it could be a toss-up between JGR's current Xfinity lineup for 2020, which involves Harrison Burton, Riley Herbst, and Brandon Jones. If Leavine Family Racing doesn't end up like Furniture Row, I could see Brandon Jones going to the 95 after Christopher Bell replaces Eric Jones for 2021, mainly for sponsorship reasons. And I also believe that Christopher Bell will replace Eric Jones in 2021. Down to Herbst and Burton, I'm going to go with Harrison Burton to drive the 11 in 2023. In 2022, I think we will finally see something that a lot of fans want to see. I predict that Chase Elliott will help bring Hendrick back into the spotlight and win the Cup Series championship. Chase Elliott, in my opinion, is a championship caliber driver, and I think he has what it takes, and I think here in a couple of years, he can finally take one home. In 2023, I predict Martin Truex Jr. will retire at the end of this season. The 2017 champion, who will go on to win more races to start the 2020s, will call it a career at the age of 43. I could see Riley Herbst taking the 19. Again, this is all hypothetical, and I'm probably dead wrong on all of this, and that's okay. At this rate, I know I'm going to be feeling old when all the 2006 rookies have retired at this point. Meanwhile, 2023 will finally be the year for Kyle Larson. I predict he will get a championship in this decade for Chip Ganassi. The retirement for the end of the 2024 season is one that will be a long time coming. Kevin Harvick, the man who replaced Dale Earnhardt after his passing in 2001, will retire from full-time racing. He will be 48 years old, but by judging how he's racing now, I can see it. I also think he will run part-time races in Xfinity and perhaps trucks after that, and maybe he brings back KHI. We'll have to wait and see. Who will replace such a big name? Well, with what it looks like to be a future superstar in NASCAR, Hailie Deegan. She will run for Rookie of the Year in 2025 in the number 4 car. I believe with her development at Ford, she will become the female superstar that people really want to see. Meanwhile, Christopher Bell in his 5th full-time season will take home the 2024 NASCAR Cup Championship driving the number 20 for Joe Gibbs Racing. As for 2025, I could see Eric Almirola retiring around this time. Whether he's still with Stewart-Haas can be up for debate. He still has Smithfield as a sponsor and he can win in that car. Almirola will be 41 years old by March 2025. At that rate, we could see him hang up the helmet. In terms of who replaces him, that might be a tough one. I would have to see who else DJR Crosley will get now that they've moved to Ford. Todd Gilliland maybe? I assume if he's not back with TRD and KBM, he can work his way up driving for his father, and he could be in the Cup Series definitely by 2025. Another 2020 rookie driver will take the championship in 2025. This time, it'll be Cole Custer driving for Stewart-Haas. This is when things start to get a little difficult, but at this point, I could actually see Brad Keselowski retire at this point. By the time the green flag drops at the 2026 Daytona 500, the 2012 champion will be 42 years old. At that point, we could see him retire. I firmly believe he can win another championship, but it will also be difficult with how competitive NASCAR has gotten in recent years. In terms of who replaces him, maybe Penske signs a driver from free agency, or he brings up somebody like a Zane Smith or Tyler Ankrum, Christian Eckes, Chandler Smith, or a driver in that pool. I mean, at this rate, Austin Cindric will be racing for Penske or at the Wood Brothers. I could also see Brad Keselowski bringing back his old team that he had in trucks. He did hint that in the future he would love to run a Cup team. I believe William Byron is a future Cup champion. Was he rushed? In my opinion, yes. But over time, he will become one of the elites of the Cup Series, and he will score the championship in 2026. I'm at a point where I don't think I can list any major retirements for now, although if you guys have any predictions, I'd love to hear them down in the comments. So please, comment down below if you have any opinions. As for a champion, I predict Cole Custer will score his 2nd championship in 2027. No notable retirements for 2028, but Chase Elliott will score his 2nd championship this season. I do believe he's a title contender, as I said earlier, and we could see the young man from Dawsonville, Georgia showcase that in years to come. For the last year of the 2020s decade, I do have one more retirement for you guys. Kyle Busch. Kyle will retire at the age of 44. I believe around the 2020s, he will start to decline, as he will not be able to win 6 to 8 races every season. Who replaces him? At this rate, we're so far ahead, I could honestly say maybe Christian Eckes or Chandler Smith. If neither of those drivers are available, I could definitely see Ty Gibbs taking the 18 as well. To cap off my predictions, Christopher Bell takes his 2nd championship in 2029. Why did I not mention Tyler Reddick? I believe Tyler Reddick can be a future Cup champion, but I just don't see it happening at Richard Childress Racing. Maybe we could see him in a different ride at this point, and we can see him run for a title. For now, this is what I predict. And that will do it for my 2020s retirements and champions predictions for the NASCAR Cup Series. Again, most of these will probably be wrong, and it's all hypothetical. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'd love to see what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Happy New Year.